Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I'm here with another color with me. Now this one here is called Bubble Bath Swissie from CC Design and I absolutely love her. She's one of my new stamp set that I got from CC Design about 2 months ago. So I'm happy that I've already started coloring the new stamp sets. And the rule for me for the past few years that if I'm going to get something new, I need to use it. Sit it can't sit on my shelves for months and months and months and not be used. So I'm so happy that the last stamp set that we did was the Little Witch, and that was a new stamp set. And now we're doing the Bubble Bath Girl, and I absolutely love her. And I don't know if I've mentioned that here before, but my granddaughter absolutely loves baths. So this is going to go on a page for sure that she is taking a bath. So let's talk about the colors that I'm using. I first started with Copics. So the face is E000, E50, and R20. The hair is Y21, Y31, and Y35. The wrap around her hair is BV000, BV02. The tub is C0 and C1. The tap is C3 and C5. The bubble bath bottle is R00 and R32, and the bubbles are B000. This was probably one of my favorite ones that I painted up to now, or colored, not painted, that I colored up to now. I really enjoyed doing the witch, but this one was so much fun because it kind of stressed me out a little bit because the bathtub, most of them are white. So I was like, ugh. So when I looked at the example online, it looked like they had used a little bit of gray, and I'm like, okay, well, I can do C1 and what did I do? C0 and C1, and it turned out perfect. And I love her hair. I love the wrap. I love her little face. I love the bubble bath bottle. I just love everything about it. And I find that I'm using my hammer mill cardstock a whole lot more now. I almost want to throw out all those stamps that are all the paper that I stamped. I spent like almost an hour and a half stamping all of those because every time I color with on one of those, I hate it. So maybe I can just keep them and then use them. That's what I'll do. I'll keep them and just use them for like pencil. I can color them in with pencils. That might be fun to do too, because I have quite a few colored pencils too, so I could do some images with that too. And that's my goal this year, is really to kind of use what I have in my scrap room. These Copic markers I've had in my scrap room probably for 15 to 18 years, right? And I've used them here and there, I have to say, but not to the extent that I've been using them lately. So I'm really happy about that. Now we're going to move on to the Ohuhu markers, and the face, of course, is R18, R19, and R20. The hair is E280, E220, and E310. The wrap is V230, V250. The tub is CG00 and CG020. And the tap is BG050 and BG03. The bottle is RV260 and R21, and the bubbles is MG020. Now, I wasn't getting the skin and hair collection. They do have a collection for Ohuhu that is just skin and hair. I can't remember how many markers there is. I don't know if it's 24 or 36. Might be 36 because the set is $39.99. And I was holding back getting them because there is another sort of collection that I could get. It's 109 markers or something like that. And I was like, I don't know if I want those or not because a lot of those markers are in that collection. But when I don't know, I go back and forth because I'm like, when I look at the area where I keep my markers, I'm like, I don't have room for another 100 markers. Like I have nowhere to put them. So where am I going to put them? But when I look at the selection of markers, it's a whole lot more limited, I find, than the Copic markers. Even though I have about the same amount of markers for each, I find the Copic markers, and maybe it's because I could choose my Copic markers one by one by one. So I made sure that I chose colors that were complementary to each other. You know, they say with the markers, if you're starting with, let's say, R00, well, you should go up 2 or 3, you know, so R03 and then go up 2 or 3 more. So you could go R05. I don't even know if those colors exist, but it's just an example, you know. But with the Ohuhu markers, it doesn't really work that way. You know, I have to look at the cap, and by the way, the cap is not even close to what the markers are. But thankfully, I have like a sketchbook, and what I do is I just go in and I just color. And I choose my colors. I always choose my colors before I start coloring, because I find that it takes away a lot of the stress, if you will. When I look a lot of times at a stamp set, and, you know, I look at, oh my goodness, you know, there's so many, it's so fidgety, you know, not fidgety, but it's just so many little pieces. Like, oh my goodness, how am I going to choose all the colors? The best way just to start. So I start, you know, I know, okay, the face, let's do the face, let's do the hair. And, you know, if it's a shirt that has a lot of like things on it, then I choose at least the color of the shirt, and then I can say, okay, and kind of go like that, you know, and write everything down. And I find that it makes it a whole lot easier for me to choose the colors. And when I look at the whole picture as a whole, I find it overwhelming. But when I start breaking it down, and then all of a sudden I'm like, oh, I've chosen colors for everything. And her hair, I really like her hair. It's just so easy, you know, from the bottom, from the top, and then blend in the middle, and it has a nice little highlight. I find some of the stamp sets, the hair is just, you know, so complicated. And this one was just easy. And now I've just colored the bottle, and after that, I'm doing just like one edge of the bubble in that BG, or no, this one is MG020, and then is it. And then I take the time and I cut them out, and then I just put some distress glaze over top, and it protects the image, and I find it makes the colors pop. And this is probably one of my favorite things to do. Is I took a dot journal and I started stamping the image in, and then because of some mistakes that I made in the past, I started putting 1/8 washi tape all the way around, and it just finishes it off. And then beside each image, I take a ruler and I just make another rectangle. It's about 2.5 by 3.25. And then I take markers, either Ohuhu markers or Tombow, and I just found a whole bunch of Stampin' Right markers, Stampin' Right markers, and they have a brush marker, and they're all nice and like pastel-y, so this is going to be perfect for that. What I do is every second line, I highlight it with a marker, and I try to match the colors of the stamped image. And then in that square, I write down everything I just read to you for a couple reasons, you know, like it made it easier for me to kind of do the videos and tell you what colors I use for sure. But if I ever want to color her again in those exact colors, I don't have to try to figure out what I use. It's right there. I wrote it down, so I can just, you know, look at it and color another one in. So this one here, I'm going to take, I think these are the Ohuhu markers, and I do one in pink and one in purple, and then I take a minute and I take that sketchbook that I was telling you, And I wrote everything down in there, and I noticed that sometimes I don't do it, but I try to always go face, hair, and then go with the rest, So this one here was face, hair, wrap, tub, tap, bottle, and bubbles. And then the bottom one, I tried to do the same thing. And then I just copy over the color markers. And what I do is I always put the lightest to the darkest so that I know, okay, I started with E00 and I moved on to the next color and then the next color. And I can't wait to add that little colored image to one of my scrapbook layouts. But that's it. That's going to complete this color with me. So if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. If you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up, leave me a comment down below. And I want to thank you so much for watching. Bye.